out of my head.
Humans create a lot of systems and constructs to cope with everyday life. This could be for many reasons, but one potential explanation is the existential approach. According to existentialism, life is inherently absurd and therefore lacks meaning except that which you make for yourself. We make these elaborate concepts in order to forge meaning and make life tolerable. And one album that explores this idea, albeit with a softer approach than the existential one, is Bomb by An Illit. That is the crux of what we are talking about today. Illit creates several systems to give meaning to their stories, varying in just how elaborate they can be. I want to highlight some of these lyrics and analyze them for what I feel they are truly worth. I think the most oddball that things get is probably jealous. The song creates its own terminology and qualifies existing ones. You can be both jealous and jealous, but they are separate things, with jealous more so meaning just generally in love. However, it doesn't end there, as they say that there are colors, flavors, and levers associated with each emotion. There's an elaborate system for how they come to experience what they feel, making up a more abstract, whimsical process than emotional processing in reality. But they have a similar extended metaphor for dealing with negative emotions in Little Monster. They suggest you should consume the problem to get rid of it, like eating a monster. This isn't all, though, because there are some more interesting implications in the nitty-gritty of the lyrics. For example, they say something is chasing them before stating they're creating a monster, as if you create what is seemingly already chasing you. Also, if you don't deal with your problems by addressing them fully, they still live within you. They can do things to your body, and they can hurt you in a more deeply personal way. There's even a residue that is tricky to get rid of, but in the end, eating the monsters doesn't kill them, it creates more monsters. The album's title track, Do the Dance, features more systematic structural details, including when they sing so curious to fabulous like a roller coaster ride. There is parallel structure and internal rhyme subtly guiding the sentiment, but there's also the notion of a roller coaster, something physically guided, within parentheses that also keep it where it should be. They also seem to find the key to their struggles in changing their attitude, which they believe love is all about. They go from dancing by themselves to beginning to dance together after previously looking for some code. However, the song also breaks down a lot of systems, unfortunately for the speaker. There is a blend of showing versus telling, unable to decide which better suits their purpose. In the line, cheeks blush, heart rush, a fool, for you, there's parallel structure with the crux of the sentiment excluded. They are seemingly affected internally, as if losing control of their heart or losing their heart. They also talk to their heart, prompting the question of if it is present or if this is an apostrophe, a piece of writing that is speaking to someone or something not there. They also talk about the heart and what it does. It has a different kind of presence in the dance, and when they ask, is it me or not, they seemingly question what has happened to their heart. Is it there? Are they the same? Things just become further complicated. They command the subject to dance, qualifying the type of dance, then asking a leading question about it. They focus on small things about it, but this becomes their whole reality, as they suggest they are either literally or figuratively under a spell. They also know there is someone in the subject's heart, and the speaker isn't okay with it not being themselves, but acknowledges the possibility. They acknowledge how they feel without putting too much of themselves or a grammatical subject in it. And there are the lines so cryptic, so curious, separated with lineation, but linked with parallel structure. As there also is consonance, they communicate distance and harshness as they talk about unpleasant feelings. In Oops, they seem to have something against saying how they feel. They abandon grammatical subjects clueless, but they somehow know how they feel and just don't have the words. They talk about time and place using the rule of three in a more unconventional manner, like secret talk gets switched on in parentheses. It makes you question why they don't just say things. Do they not want others to know? And are they literally loud or emotionally loud, since they use that in their language? But they start to find their footing, laughing so hard that their problems disappear. It makes you question if this is how you should deal with your problems. They also say, I love it, I got it, as if realizing and admitting to themselves. Finally, there is Bombsapung. This is the last song on the album when things kind of fall back into place. The speaker is overall content. Their enthusiasm really precedes even description. The song opening with some commentary and dialogue that initiate the scene. They say something magical is about to happen, so it's not happening yet. The sky is purple, a blueberry dream reflecting what's inside. They ask if they should make all of their dreams come true, addressing what's inside in a proper way. They refer to a round moon and later a square picnic mat, providing orientation in their world, and referring to a night picnic provides some levity to the dark, eating being framed differently now. I would like to note the contrast between eating problems versus eating with someone special, an act of communion. In literature, any scene where people eat together is communion. Also, the night and sky's everlasting nature is indicative that they can defeat uncertainty. They even say, let's take them out one by one, something that could be said about monsters, but now refers to things used in the picnic. creates some interesting philosophical constructs over its entire duration, truly having something to say. In a world where K-pop is criticized often for being vapid, it is refreshing to see a group get so into the nitty-gritty of genuinely deep conversations. It's not something they tried to use as an advertisement either, as I don't think people really talk about Eilid's lyrics that much. I could be wrong. If I am, please point me to those discussions, as I'm sure they're extremely interesting. But anyway, that'll be all for me. In the meantime, I hope you're having a good day and continue to do so. Bye.
I dreamed